Imagine this. You're facing the chaos of daily life, and you wish there were a guidebook to help you navigate it all. Guess what? The Stoics had their version of a life manual, and it's packed with some seriously impactful psychological strategies. Let's dive into the wisdom of these ancient thinkers and uncover 7 nuggets of insight that can seriously level up your mental game. These Stoic-inspired strategies are like little superpowers for your mind, from dealing with setbacks to finding tranquility during the chaos. So, buckle up for a journey that will blend the wisdom of the past with the challenges of today. Because who knew that dusty old philosophy stuff could be helpful in our 21st century hustle? Get ready to sprinkle some Stoicism into your life and watch the magic unfold. Strategy 1: Mastery over perception. Our perceptions shape our reality more than external events. The Stoics understood that we don't control what happens to us, but have power over how we interpret and react. By taking control of our perceptions, we can view challenges as opportunities for growth rather than sources of suffering. The Stoic sage exercises complete command over their judgment, remaining calm and virtuous regardless of circumstance. They understand that events themselves are neutral. Our perceptions color them good or bad. Training our minds to perceive things objectively allows us to focus our energy on responses within our control. We suffer more from our judgment of events than from the events themselves. Practicing non-judgmental awareness reduces dysfunctional emotions and frees us to act from reason and wisdom. Strategy 2: Embracing control and choice. A fundamental principle of Stoicism is to focus our energy on what we can control rather than on what we can't. The Stoics believed that much of human unhappiness stems from trying to exert control over things that are ultimately outside of our control. This includes external events, other people's opinions and behavior, health problems, and outcomes in general. By contrast, the Stoics emphasize that we have control over our thoughts, values, and actions. We can choose how we respond to external circumstances. Even in difficult situations, we can maintain composure and act with wisdom and virtue. The Stoics recommend reflecting on and separating what is up to us versus what is not. For the things not up to us, we can practice acceptance, detachment, and trust. We can exercise our ability to choose wisely for the items within our control. By focusing our efforts on our choices and behavior, rather than trying to change what we can't control, we gain emotional strength, resilience, and inner peace. Strategy 3: Integrity in action. Stoicism stresses the importance of living with integrity by aligning one's values and actions. Our character is defined not by thoughts or words, but by what we do. Stoics believe a virtuous life comes from practicing wisdom, justice, courage, and moderation. To live with integrity, we must examine our core values and ensure we act by them. It's easy to profess beliefs, but much more challenging to stick to them when they're inconvenient or there are temptations. Stoicism says that we express our values not when things are easy, but when they are hard. Integrity requires having the courage to do what we know is right, rather than what is expedient. It means being moderate in our actions and desires, and it means being just and fair in our treatment of others. A person with a solid moral character acts virtuously even when no one is watching. The Stoics would say that absolute freedom comes from living in agreement with your values. You must be willing to sacrifice short-term comfort or gain to maintain your integrity. The rewards of virtue are inner peace and self-respect. While the fruits of vice may seem sweet initially, they ultimately lead to discord and dissatisfaction. Strategy 4: Cultivating empathy. Cultivating empathy is one of the critical principles of Stoicism. It involves understanding others' perspectives and motivations rather than judging or assuming we know their origin. The Stoics believed that all human beings share a common human experience. While individuals have different circumstances, we all experience similar emotions: love, fear, anxiety, and joy. Recognizing this shared humanity can help us feel compassion for others rather than frustration or anger when they act in ways we perceive as irrational or wrong. Practicing empathy allows us to build bridges between ourselves and others we disagree with. Rather than reacting emotionally, we can take a step back and consider why this person feels the way they do. What past experiences have shaped their worldview? What are they afraid of or hoping for? Cultivating empathy leads to more harmony in our relationships and communities. We can forgive others' shortcomings and relate to them in a spirit of understanding. Stoics would frequently remind themselves that all people are morally neutral. We all wish for good, though sometimes we make poor choices. With empathy, we can influence others through patience and wisdom rather than aggression. The more empathy we feel, the less we will be disturbed by other people's actions. We will still work to improve the world, but we will do so from a centered position of compassion rather than judgment and attack. This enables us to spread lighter. Strategy 5, the elegance of simplicity. Stoicism teaches the pursuit of simplicity in life. This means focusing on what matters rather than getting caught up in excess. The Stoics recognize that we often clutter our lives with possessions, activities, and desires that do not lead to happiness or fulfillment. They encouraged minimizing non-essentials to discover what is essential. Living means we can concentrate on developing virtue, wisdom, justice, courage, and moderation. We gain freedom from being controlled by our insatiable desires for wealth, fame, pleasure, and other superficial goals. The elegance of simplicity also enables presence and mindfulness. Life becomes less rushed, stressed, and complicated. We appreciate each moment instead of constantly thinking of the next thing. Ultimately, simplicity helps us differentiate between what we can control and cannot. We focus our efforts on our choices, values, and character. By mastering self-control, we experience lasting tranquility. Strategy 6, the serenity of acceptance. A key element of Stoicism is learning to accept rather than resist reality and nature. The Stoics believed that much of human unhappiness stems from trying to control things we have no power over. Instead, they encouraged focusing energy on what is within our control. The Stoics practiced negative visualization, imagining the loss of possessions, relationships, or health to appreciate life's impermanence. By regularly contemplating death and loss, they aimed to develop an attitude of calmness and gratitude for each passing moment. Rather than struggling against the inevitable life changes, the Stoics sought to understand and accept reality as it unfolded. They believed acceptance brought peace of mind, while resistance only bred frustration and suffering. By letting go of desired outcomes, they could maintain composure in adversity. The Stoics' radical acceptance allowed them to weather life's storms with poise. They aimed to always live in harmony with nature, finding calmness in understanding that all things must pass. This willingness to embrace reality enabled them to focus energy on virtuous action rather than futile resistance. Strategy 7, living virtuously. Living virtuously is a core principle of Stoic philosophy. Stoics believed that the path to happiness and fulfillment lies in striving to embody the 4 cardinal virtues. Number 1, wisdom. Having good sense and judgment to distinguish right from wrong and make wise decisions. Understanding involves gaining knowledge and learning through experience. Number 2, courage. having mental strength and firmness to face difficulties and endure adversity with bravery. Courage entails acting on your beliefs despite fear or opposition. Number 3, justice, being fair, honest, and adhering to moral principles. Justice involves treating others equitably and promoting good in society. Number 4, temperance, exercising self-control, moderation, and restraint over one's desires and passions. Temperance allows one to curb impulsive behavior. To live virtuously is to integrate these cardinal virtues into one's character and demonstrate them through behavior. Stoics strove to practice wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance in their daily actions and conduct. They believed living ethically and working toward moral excellence would bring inner tranquility and freedom. The Stoics recognized perfection as unattainable, but saw great value in constantly striving to embody virtue. While none can achieve complete integrity, the effort brings nobility to one's spirit. Progress, not perfection, was the goal. By practicing the 4 cardinal virtues, the Stoics aimed to live each day with integrity, centered on celibacy, regardless of circumstances. As we conclude, please reflect on 1 or 2 Stoic strategies that resonated with you. Identify practical ways you could start applying them in your own life. Don't expect perfection, but see it as an ongoing journey of learning and growth. With regular practice, these principles can become ingrained habits that positively influence how you perceive and interact with the world. The rewards of living a Stoic life are well worth the effort. You may be pleasantly surprised by the greater tranquility, self-control, and wisdom you stand to gain. Be patient with yourself along the way while persisting through obstacles. If applied consistently, the principles of Stoicism offer a powerful formula for thriving in an uncertain world. If you enjoyed this video, remember to subscribe, leave your comment, and share your insights. We look forward to hearing about your transformation journey, and remember, change starts with a single step.